Hi, I'm Dr. Rachel Rudolph. I'm the Extension Vegetable Specialist at the University of Kentucky, and today we're going to talk about getting your soil, getting your ground ready for cover cropping. So it can't all happen in one day, and so that's something to keep in mind. You've got to be watching the weather, and several different implements need to be utilized in order to get the ground appropriately ready to seed. And so we're going to lead you through the chronological process of how to get the ground ready and what different equipment needs to be used or could be used in order to prep the ground and then seed. So stay tuned. Okay, so here's an example of what we would call a living mulch, a living ground cover. We've seeded teff, T-E-F-F, for those of you who are less familiar with it, in the alleyways here. It's about a 35 pounds per acre rate. We wanted really good coverage because this is the main purpose of the teff is for weed management. So you can see there's still some weeds dotting here and there throughout the field, but for the most part, I think we've done a pretty good job of blocking out the weeds. Now, teff also has allelopathic qualities, so it basically can suppress other plants. So that's another form of weed management there. So what we're going to do, this teff is this was hand seeded and it's about 3 weeks along, and it's not irrigated. It was timed with multiple rain events. So basically we watched the weather until we saw that there were going to be several rainy days coming up, and that's when we seeded and it was raked in. So you can see here pretty good coverage. There are a few weeds, but really not that bad. And this will need to be mowed. Probably in the next 2-3 weeks, we'd want to mow it before this squash starts creeping into the alleyways because we wouldn't want to damage the squash. So that's something to keep in mind. Certainly if you had a non-vining crop, you could time it a little differently, maybe let the teff go a little longer. I would expect if you didn't mow it, I would expect the teff to get at least, thigh high on me, so probably about 2.5 feet before it started going to seed. So you've got some time before you need to decide what to do, but it's something to consider. Okay, so this is an example of cover cropping in a high tunnel. We've got a mix here. So this was hand seeded and raked in with a rake. And then we've got a mix of Japanese millet and crimson clover. So this is about 2 weeks along. And we irrigated using sprinkler system. And as you can see, the stand is pretty good. There's a little bit of a slight difference as you get really close to the sprinklers, but for the most part, the stand's pretty even. And we've got good coverage here. So the millet came up a lot faster than the crimson clover. You can see the crimson clover down there below here. And so this is kind of an experiment. This is about 2 parts millet to 1 part crimson clover. And so we'll see how this does. But it's a warm season, cover crops. Because we're in a high tunnel, we needed to irrigate. And this is just an option for growers that are trying to rotate, practice good crop rotation, and maybe do some soil health improvements during the summer.